All right, so many suggest that all of this, the Saugat-e-Modi, the small gift hampers which comprise of a salwar suit for the woman head of the family, sevai, and a few more things, and we'll break it down for what exactly they are. It's all planned with an eye on the Bihar elections. Why on Bihar elections, viewers? Let's take you through that, because 2011 census, as per that, and mind you, Bihar is going to vote in the next 4 months from now. So, as per the 2011 census, 17% of Bihar's population is Muslim. Let's take you now on how the 17% population voted. 12% of Muslims voted for the NDA in 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Now, this is all across the country, where it comes down to the 2020 assembly elections in Bihar. Only 5% Muslims voted for the NDA in 2020 Bihar polls. There is a sense that BJP allies are alienating the 17% Muslim votes. Why I say that, viewers, is that the LJP, Chirag Paswan, the JDU, Nitish, Kumar has a sizable Muslim vote bank. And some of them, as per our sources, feel that outwardly polarizing atmosphere that is currently prevailing might possibly alienate that possible vote bank. These visuals are of the Iftar party. You can see BJP leaders from Bihar with him. You can see Chirag Paswan, you have Choudhry, and you have Nitish Kumar. So it paints that picture right on your television screen on why possibly this Saugat is going in the times of Bihar elections. These visuals only came in as early as yesterday evening, an Iftar party being hosted here by Chirag Paswan in Bihar, Patna. So you have Chirag Paswan, you have the Chief Minister of Bihar, Nitish Kumar, who is both allies of the BJP. Sitting right next to them is the Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar, Choudhry. So that possibly with an eye on Bihar election. It's a question there. Now, in terms of, many would suggest that the BJP has always, especially when it comes down to schemes, to handouts, has never quite discriminated. The Modi government's Muslim outreach, Sikho or Kamao scheme for skill development of minorities, Nai Roshni scheme for leadership development of minority women, Nai Manzil integrated education livelihoods. So lots of schemes there. We're going to play out all the list of schemes which the Modi government has floated where the Muslim minority is concerned, and in which you can also throw, because the government lauds itself for abolishing triple talaq, and all of these the government calls it as an achievement and offerings for the minority community. However, this discussion will not be complete if we don't actually get into what many also think is the minority double-speak of the BJP. One thing that always is underlined, till now we haven't seen any Muslim face in Prime Minister Modi's cabinet. This new cabinet of the BJP has no Muslim face again. No Muslim given a ticket to fight the 2024 Lok Sabha polls. Hundreds of tickets were given, viewers, and not a single Muslim was given a ticket to fight these elections, which is Lok Sabha 2024. What is perceived is selective bulldozer action, mostly against Muslims. Anti-Muslim political rhetoric by many leaders, from calling them termites, kapdon se pehchan sakte hain, to lots of other political commentary made by top BJP political leaders. So all of that comes into the possibility of a double speak by the BJP when it comes down to Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Now, at the back of it, of course, the questions that we ask this evening before I go across to the panel. The first question, of course, BJP Muslim outreach with an eye on Bihar elections. The other question, Sabka Saath or plain appeasement politics? Because now you have voices from the Congress and the Samajwadi Party coming out, even the RJD, saying that what is all of this? Because the BJP has never thought of the minorities. Suddenly, before Bihar elections, they're thinking of the minorities. This is just plain appeasement, something that they are always accused of. The other question that we ask, can outreach eclipse the anti-Muslim rhetoric, which many suggest that the BJP has followed? Off late, we've seen how Aurangzeb has been used as a trope, or, somewhere down the line, used to attack the Muslim community, or we've seen the bulldozers, we've seen what happened during Holi. Lastly, an outreach attempt to stem the peaking polarization in the country that we can see. Well, there's another question and we'll take it directly to our BJP panelists. But before I introduce our panel viewers, we're going to give in 2 minutes. We have a counter which is going to play at the back of each and every panelist. The minute that 2 minutes is over, then their fader is automatically going to go down. So, you know, every time you have a spokesperson who says that the anchor is given more time to X, Y, and Z, that's not my domain anymore. Let me introduce our panelists to our viewers. Mumtaz Patel, National Spokesperson, Congress. Shehzad Poonawalla, National Spokesperson, BJP. Ashutosh, Political Analyst. Rajat Sethi, Political Analyst. I'd like to begin with Shehzad. And the other question that can be posed and is being posed is, who's really paying for this Saugat?
First of all, Preeti, I hate to fact-check you because you said that the BJP did not give a single ticket to a Muslim in the Lok Sabha elections. You're factually wrong. We did actually give M. Abdul Samad the ticket in the Lok Sabha elections in Kerala. As far as the Muslim face is concerned, if not having a Muslim... Please wait for my turn to get over. If not having a Muslim face means that we are anti-Muslim, then 7, 8 and 9 p.m. are the prime time slots of the Aaj Tak India Today group. Please tell me which Muslim anchors at 7, 8 or 9. Is that the meaning that the India Today group is against Muslims? It's not. And you said that this is all for elections. By the way, let me tell you that the Hajj quota was 1 lakh. It has now been increased to 2 lakhs. The Hajj without Mehram was never permitted before. Now it is permitted. We have done away with the triple talaq law. The Muslim girl dropout rate was 70%, is down to 30%. AMU scholarships have been doubled. The number of scholarships given by the UPA, the more than that, the scholarships have been given during the NDA. 5,000 crore budget has been given for minority affairs. By the way, APJ Abdul Kalam was made president by the Bharatiya Janata Party. By the way, Bharat Ratna was given to Ustad Bismillah Khan by the Bharatiya Janata Party. By the way, Andaman Nicobar Island, one of the islands was named after Mir Abdul Hamid. Is this anti-Muslim? Padma was just this year, let me tell you, Farooq Ahmed Mir, Sheen Nizam, Syed Ainul Hassan, Begum Baitul, people that Congress never recognized. All of this was just in this year, the Padma Awards. Was this for elections? By the way, all that the Congress party has done is Saugate-e-Dange and Saugate-e-Garibi. Jalgaon, Delhi, Ahmedabad, Bhiwandi, Bhagalpur, Hashimpura, Mumbai, Meerut, Malyana, all of these riots where thousands of Muslims were actually killed. And therefore, I tell my good friend Mumtaz कि मिली सौगाते मोदी, दुखी है सारे विरोधी, इनका काम है केवल प्रोपेगेंडा और भड़काने की ये जो राजनीति. I would ask Mumtaz that just compare the state of the affairs of Muslims in Gujarat and Muslims in Bengal. Bengal BJP has never ruled on poverty, on per capita income, on health indices, on participation in government jobs. Every place the Gujarati Muslim is far ahead than the Bengali Muslim. That was not done for elections. वो कहते हैं ना झाकी रही भावना जैसी प्रभु मूरत दिखे तिन तैसी. Because they have only done for elections, they feel everyone does for elections. We believe in Sarvamat and Sarvasat, Sabka Saath, and that's why we have done.
Okay. Shehzad, your time is up. I concede after on 484 tickets in Kerala, you gave one Muslim a ticket and he was fielded in the state of Kerala. After 484 that BJP fought. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I want to bring in Mumtaz Patel into this conversation. Mumtaz Patel, the fact is, Shehzad Poonawalla does have a point that appeasement is something possibly that the Congress has followed. The pendulum swung so far left in your time, and now it's the time for Sabka Saath. And what's happening is Sabka Saath.
Sabka Saath, now you remember after 11 years, last week you saw some pictures of Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, Akhilesh Yadav ji, all at an Iftar table, and you had to see the meltdown by the followers of the Bharatiya Janata Party and Prime Minister Modi that this is appeasement politics. Now I want to ask, what is the meaning for this gesture, Saugat-e-Modi? Like, what is the motive behind it? Yes, we spoke about vote bank politics, keeping Bihar elections in mind. Distributing kits, if it brings you votes, great, good enough. But what about the message of brotherhood and harmony that needs to percolate down to your followers, your people? Because on ground, this is not what you see. If you think that this is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, where are you going to distribute these kits? What about the homes of those Muslims that have been bulldozed? What about people who've been lynched? You know, it's becoming such a huge problem. Islamophobia is real. It is real on the ground. And this is purely because of the kind of language, the kind of attitude, the kind of approach this government and the supporters have been using towards a minority. When the opposition does this, you call it minority appeasement. When you distribute free ration, you call it bravery politics. So my question to the Bharatiya Janata Party is, yes, there are durust hai, but 11 saal baad aapko yaad aaya sabka saath sabka vikas. Now is the time you remember that the minorities also need to be assimilated into the society. Their festivals, their culture should also be accommodated. And what are you going to now answer? Are you going to put out this grand gesture and then, like what you did to the Ladki Behan Yojana, again say that, okay, fine, 32 lakh kits cannot be distributed because it is out of budget? So these are just probably grand plans and just out of the box thinking for this point of time, just for votes, nothing else. That's all I can say. I welcome it, I appreciate it, but I'm sorry, I don't see the real intent behind this.
All right, Ashutosh, you think that this is mere tokenism? Or do you think there is real intent? Because if you actually look at it, it's just not for the Muslim community. It's for Baisakhi. Even on Good Friday, they are going to be handed over, this small token.
See, Preeti, this is not even tokenism. This is not even tokenism. This is just a kind of a, what should we call? We should call it a Muslim appeasement or what? This is basically intended at the Bihar elections and the kind of reaction the Muslims are giving towards the Janata Dal United and LJP. So obviously the BJP is little worried that if the Muslims are not going to vote for even JDU and the LJP, then obviously the BJP alliance will be in the soup. If you remember, in 2020, the assembly election happened. The difference between the Mahagathbandhan and the NDA was 0.03%, despite Narendra Modi and Nitish Kumar being together on that side. So it's basically to kind of avoid that anything can happen in election. See, first of all, we have to understand this, that what is happening around here? The Prime Minister, which created the entire 2024 election as a referendum on the Islamophobia, he called them infiltrators and all kinds of names. Yogi Adityanath calling that if India alliance wins, then there will be Sharia Qanun in this country. Ram Mandir will be demolished. All kinds of things were used in that election. Election Commission, as you know, did nothing. So now you have come and said, no, I am the savior of the Muslims. I will help you out. And this happened despite 2 years back when in Hyderabad it was decided that the Paswanda Muslims will be outreached by the BJP and several melas were held. And despite that, this happened in parliament election. So this is nothing else. This is only intended for the election. That this is just trying to fool Muslims, and Muslims are not so foolish that they fall for this. You just take it for this. Even the BJP cadre at the ground will not accept it. I'm telling you this because the reaction from the RSS at the bottom level is also very, very furious at the moment, because I had talked to many of them and they are not accepting this.
All right, Rajat Sethi, you want to weigh in on this? Because the general perception seems to be, that there is a bit of trouble, at least where the allies in Bihar are concerned. Yesterday, the optics said it all, because that Iftar party, which was hosted by none other than Chirag Paswan, had both the CM and the deputy sitting, besides them. On the other hand, now there are murmurs that the Waqf bill might not even come this session, and that was supposed to be the most contentious bill, that the government might just hold on to the Waqf bill and wait it out, after the Bihar elections. Do you think it's that, or is it just the larger context? One really doesn't need to read much into it. The BJP's ideology is very clear, but you keep needing to do this, often in terms of to project that at least the schemes are for everyone.
I think, Preeti ji, there is something which is called common sense governance. What does common sense say is that you provide governance to all and appeasement to none. Do not put your communal blinkers on when you are trying to frame your public policies. That is underlying philosophy that should govern us, that should rule us. The problem is that if a Karnataka chief minister stands up in the assembly of Karnataka and tries and bulldozes 5% reservation exclusively on religious lines, then he's putting his communal blinkers on in order to see public policy directly from those lenses. That is the problem. If there is no differentiation on religious lines and governance, and the benefits and fruits of development are spread to every section of the society, we should not read politics into it. This is plain speak governance, where every Indian citizen has a claim to that governance. not something that Manmohan Singh has been saying. Another thing that I have deep problems with is the way you and Ashutosh ji are trying to conflate the issue of illegal infiltration in our country to being labeling the entire Muslim community as termites. Nobody from the BJP, and you can call me out and correct me, has ever said the Muslim community is termites. These are meant for all kinds of illegal migrants, be it from any religion. Now, let me clarify this and double underline this, because this narrative has been peddled for far too long. Who was Aurangzeb? A lineage from a Mongol does not represent all of the Indian Muslims here. He is being called out in an isolated way. And he is being called out for the sole reason that there were atrocities, systemic atrocities against the Hindu communities for several decades under his rule. This is why he's being called out, not as a trope for all the Muslims living in our country. The problem is that you try and put these things, juxtapose these things in a way so that it sounds and looks communal, because you are colored by those narratives.
Okay, Rajat Sethi, your time is up. You know, it's not about who's colored or who's not. I'm going to circle back to what you just pointed out, because I don't think it's only an Ashutosh or an XYZ who makes that point. It is a point of perception. It is talked of. Therefore, it is spoken about. And I don't think that just comes in from political experts. Having said that, I'm going to give in two more minutes to all our panelists. I'm going to cut across to Shehzad again. Shehzad, 2 minutes to you to begin with. The question that I asked, who is paying for it if there is Saugat-e-Modi, which is going down to 32 lakh households in this country? The question is plausible. Yeah. Is it coming in from the people's exchequer, taxpayers?
No, absolutely not, Preeti. By the way, this is a party program. So our minority department, the BJP's minority department is running it, and therefore the BJP foots the bill for it. And by the way, just a few weeks ago, we gave out holy kits. We had celebrated Pongal. We had celebrated Christmas. You would remember the Snehi Yatra, which was discussed ad hominem on your channel in a very big way. We have celebrated Prakash Parv of all our Sikh gurus also. So this is something that we do every time. Mumtaz ji just now said that you saw the pictures of Sonia ji during Iftar. Of course we did, and we are happy that she's in good health. But Mumtaz ji, we didn't see Sonia ji's picture in Mahakumbh. We did not see Sonia ji's picture during Holi. And that is the problem. The problem is you won't celebrate a Pongal, you won't celebrate a Holi, you will celebrate Iftar. Okay, you want to give that messaging, that's up to you. We celebrate everything. Thirdly, let me come to the more important point and substantive point. Because Mumtaz, my dearest friend, is here from Gujarat. Gujarat, the population of Muslims is 9 or 10%. Their share in public sector jobs is 9-10%. Bengal, the share of Muslims in population is 25%. The share of Muslims in public sector jobs in Bengal is just 2%. And that answers a lot of questions that Ashutosh has in his mind. In fact, Rajat made the most relevant point. 80 crore people got ration. 13 crore got toilets, 12 crore got cylinders, 11 crore got all kinds of other facilities, 25 crores were pulled out of poverty. One instance, Ashutosh ji, where Muhammad did not get and Mohit got. One instance where, say, Preeti got, but Pirzada did not get. So one instance you prove to me, I will bow down. And lastly, Preeti ji, see, in the starting, you said that 0 MPs were given the candidates from BJP. Then you corrected yourself. That is gracious of you. You said 1 out of 484. Yes, madam. But ma'am, you have not answered very humbly. 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., most important timing of India today. Where is the Muslim anchor of 7, 8 or 9 p.m. in English channel? Is Rajdeep Sardesai anti-Muslim? Is Preeti anti-Muslim? Is Mr. Rahul Kawal anti-Muslim? If your logic is that I have not given Muslim face, no, madam. My grandfather chose this country because he said, to hell with Jinnah, I believe a Nehru.
Okay. Sir, his time is up. Allow me to go to our other panelists. You asked me a question on why is it that the top, or the 7, 8, 9, or even 10 rather, why do you even need to stop at that? That all 4 programs or shows on India Today do not have a Muslim face. I just would like to say this very different, Shehzad, because these are just 4 shows. 484 is all I'm saying. And it's not, it's not an argument. You can keep talking, we can't hear you. Shehzad, we can't hear you. You can keep talking. We'll come back to you, right? I want to bring in, 484 and 1 ticket, right? So that was all I was trying to say. I want to bring in Mumtaz into this conversation. Mumtaz, your 2 minutes begin now, because somewhere down the line, if you look at it, Mumtaz, there's really nothing wrong in terms of providing everyone with equal governance. And that is what the point that Shehzad and Rajat Sethi were trying to make. Why communalize something where there is nothing to say?
Absolutely, Preeti. So that's what the Constitution calls for, equality and justice for all. But after, like I said in the beginning, after 11 years, you remember that you have to appease the Muslims now, or you have to bring this sort of a gift to them now. Rajat spoke about termites, and you said perception. Of course, it's all about perception. When you have the Prime Minister of the country standing on a podium and talking about Mangal Sutras being snatched away, your buffalo being given to your neighbor because they're going to be Muslims. Okay, now what kind of messaging does that say? When you have a union minister saying Goli Maro Salon ko, okay, you speak about Aurangzeb. Today, if I speak about Aurangzeb, I'm a Muslim, I am being told to go back to Pakistan. My forefathers have participated in this, in the freedom struggle, but yet today my nationality, my integrity, my loyalty is questioned. And every day I'm told to go back to Pakistan because I chose to speak on a subject like Aurangzeb, where I just told people that your fight is not against Aurangzeb, your fight is against inflation, your fight is against unemployment, your fight is for a better future of this country. Okay, you talk about Gujarat, you talk about Gujarati Muslims. In 2017, the Vidhan Sabha election was polarized towards the end by putting out a message by the Prime Minister himself that if the Congress is brought into power, then there is a conspiracy in Pakistan to elect my father, Ahmed Patel, as the Chief Minister. Now, this is what you're trying to message out to the public, that you'll have a Muslim Chief Minister. Where does then your gesture towards equality and Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas go? Why? If my father, suppose, was to be the Chief Minister also, just because he's a Muslim, he cannot be. He's been elected thrice to the Lok Sabha. He's served the country. Why cannot he be the Chief Minister of Gujarat? Because he's a Muslim. Today, every day, I am meant to answer and I'm meant to justify why is it that
okay, your time's up, Mumtaz. I'm going to come back to you if we have the time. I want to bring in Ashutosh. Ashutosh, the fact is, at a time where there is a polarizing atmosphere and nobody can really deny that, this should be looked at in a good way. Why second guess, question it? If there is an attempt to temper down the atmosphere, why not?
Preeti, I'm taking it as in the good way, provided if the Prime Minister.
Sir, your 2 minutes begin now. Yeah.
Provided the Prime Minister of the country promises to the whole world from now onwards, no BJP leader, small or the big, is going to target Muslims. Can he promise that? He will not. Because that's the core of the BJP ideology. The anti-Muslim is the core of BJP ideology. The RSS Hindutva is based on the hatred towards Muslims. And I'm just referring to termite and other things. A few weeks back, Delhi court has observed certain things on the question of giving when he's hearing the case of Kapil Mishra, and I'll just read it. It's very, very clear what the court is saying. The word Pakistan is very skillfully weak by the revisionist in his alleged statement to spew hatred, careless to communal polarization that may ensue in the election campaign only to garner votes. The court has also observed that this is the outcome of politics of divisiveness and politics of exclusion, which is a threat to the democratic and the plural fabric of the country. Divide and rule policy of the colonialists are sadly still in practice in India. This is not my statement. The court also understands in what context the Pakistan is used, in what context the Aurangzeb is used, what context the Bangladesh is used, and in what context Mr. Amit Shah has used in some word called termite. This word termite is directly taken from the Hitler's book, Mein Kampf. The internal enemies. Mohan Bhagwat said about it in 2023 in Ahmedabad. So something self-proved, self-evident doesn't need proof. Somebody is trying to justify that the BJP gave ticket to the Muslims. How many cabinet ministers are there for the Muslim community at the center and in Lucknow? I just want to know this. 1, a 0. So whom are trying to prove that there are certain universal truth about the BJP, and that truth is hate Muslims.
Okay. All right. Your time ends now. I want to cut across to Rajat Sethi. Rajat Sethi, 2 minutes to you. The questions that you pose, I think it would be a little foolhardy, Rajat Sethi, that if you're going to just say that the perception of an anti-Muslim rhetoric where it comes down to the BJP is an imagination of political analysts, you can continue to choose to believe that. But another question, Rajat Sethi, at least with what we're witnessing, do you see the Waqf Board bill coming in this session of the Parliament?
Well,
Your
I'm
time
not the
begins now,
member.
Rajat.
I am not the member of parliament, Preeti ji.
Fair play.
The committee in charge of looking at it knows what are the issues, where is the current status, they've tabled it, and it's in the hands of the parliamentarians to take it forward. But let me tell you categorically, Waqf bill is trying to correct a historic wrong. The existing form of whatever Waqf stood for was against natural justice. I don't understand why such a bill, why such an act was in place. No Supreme Court, no High Court looked into this, how patently anti-natural justice this bill was. And I'm happy that somebody is actually taking the onus to actually look at it, remove all the problems and issues with it, and all parliamentarians of all parties are coming together and debating things. It is as absurd a bill as it can get, and I'm very happy as a citizen of this country that it is being relooked at. If tomorrow a bill, if you change the religion, if a Hindu parallel of Waqf was created, and that gave the rights of Hindu seers to point out at any property and claim that this belongs to some religious body of Hindu sects, then what will happen? You would be crying every night on television shows trying to say that this is against natural justice. The same is with Waqf, and I think we have debated ad nauseum on Waqf. There is absolutely no support of that bill, of that act in its current shape and form. It has to be corrected, period. Now, let me get back to it. All kinds of illegal migrants of any religion, including Hindu religion, if they come into the country illegally, are termites. They're eating away into India's resources, and they have to be pinpointedly selected and deported. This is what Supreme Court also of our country has said, and it was NRC mandated by the Supreme Court, and under the supervision of Supreme Court went ahead and identified people who have illegally come in 30, 40 years back, and that was religious agnostic. They identified D-voters.
Okay. Your time's up, Rajat.
Well.
I would like to give all of our panelists 1 minute each so they can put in their closing remarks. Shehzad, just before I get you in, let me tell you, India today at the current time, and we are looking for good anchors. So, we are open to hiring anyone who comes in from whatever faith. But we have 7 anchors right now. And yes, you're right. Right now, India today doesn't have a Muslim face, but our sister concern Hajj Tak has 4. And we are very happy to hire another Muslim face as an anchor. We had one just till 2 months ago. So that aside, very different, Shehzad, where you're looking at 1 ticket to be given, where 484 candidates. But closing remarks, 1 minute, Shehzad, that's all everyone gets. Go ahead, sir.
First of all, when Ashutosh says that if we target terrorists, we are targeting Muslims, is Afzal a Muslim? When we target Aurangzeb, we are targeting Muslims. Aurangzeb suddenly becomes Muslim. What about Raskan? What about Dara Shikoh? If we target infiltrators, we're targeting Muslims. Why? Isn't it agnostic of religion? Religion kahan se aa gaya infiltrator mein? So point is that when somebody says Sanatan Samap without any qualification, that time it is not targeting the Hindus. When they say Hindu terror, that time it is not targeting the Hindus, but targeting the terrorists is targeting the Muslims. That is the logic. Secondly, I would like to tell my sister Mumtaz that why you keep speaking about Aurangzeb. Talk about Raskan also sometimes. And Preeti, I did not want to put you in a spot. All I'm saying is that we are not Jinnah's Pakistan, that you need to have a Muslim anchor to address a Muslim audience. Similarly, we don't need a Muslim minister to address Muslim people. The people of this country elect an MP who's bound by constitution, whether it is a Hardeep Puri, whether it's a Kiran Rijiju, or whether it's a Narendra Modi. They work for everybody, irrespective of their religion. That's the point India Today makes. That's the point our party also makes. We had Syed Akbaruddin represent us in United Nations. We had Asif Ibrahim represent us in the IB.
Shehzad, I'm sorry, I wouldn't be able to give you a rebuttal, but on that benchmark, then we shouldn't be going out and saying that our president is a tribal face, or we had a Dalit president before. Because representation is huge, and I really understand your point. Even when you question me, you're free to question me, and you should question me. So there should definitely be representation, is at least what I agree, because it was a conversation between you and I. 1 minute I want to give to Mumtaz. Mumtaz, come in, closing comments. 1 minute.
Shehzad, I didn't speak about Aurangzeb. I said it is not important to debate Aurangzeb when there are pressing issues like unemployment, inflation, and the future of this country. But yet I was told by the Aam Janta to shut up and go to Pakistan and help your party destroy the grave of Aurangzeb. That is the first thing. Secondly, I feel that these kind of gestures, yes, more than welcome. The poor Muslims will definitely need it. Not just Muslims in any religion, but there is an urgent need to for a comprehensive measure to address communalism, polarization, this perception, Islamophobia, so that everybody gets an equal chance. This is not the time to be just playing with these kind of grand gestures. The message has to trickle down to the bottom from the Prime Minister to his supporters that there should be brotherhood and harmony. That is my only main point that I want to say today.
All right, 9 seconds left. You can transfer that to Ashutosh. Ashutosh, not really. Your 1 minute begins now. Closing comments, sir. I don't even have, word edgeways in it as well. Go ahead, make your point. 1 minute.
See, Preeta, I'll advise you that you should hire Sajjad Poonawalla as an anchor because he's an excellent anchor. I had seen him doing anchoring, so he's very good. You please hire him. Or you suggest your bosses that they should do the honor. See, the fact of the matter today is that what is the BJP aspiring for? What is BJP's politics? We have to understand this. I don't want to go back to the Golwalkar and quote what Golwalkar has said about the Muslims or what the Bhagavad has said. The fact is that today even the Bhagavad is so much upset with the BJP's politics that he has to say the बिना मुसलमान के हिंदुत्व अधूरा है. सबका DNA एक है. हर मस्जिद में शिवलिंग को खोजना ये भागवत को कहना पड़ रहा है क्योंकि he is also very upset because the things are going too far. And it is taken in the direction which can someday might lead to some historical accident. And that's what the worry is. The fact of the matter is, if Mr. Narendra Modi has been so honest with the Muslims, he wouldn't have said all kinds of things, kapdon se pehchan lete hain, or termites, or the word used during the parliament elections. I'm sorry to say this.
Sir, time up. Time up. Sir, 1 minute. I want to immediately give it to Rajat because I'm really short of time. Rajat, time begins now. Go ahead. Closing comments.
We have spent 30 minutes. But the logical needle hasn't swung. So I really pity your viewers who would be sitting here. We have tried to clarify, made an alternate point of view, but still stuck. Termites is equal to Muslims according to Ashutosh. What do I even say now? Again, I appreciate BJP. BJP knows very well that the way a mindset of the Muslim community and citizens of our country has been colored by the opposition leaders, they will not be able to win this battle. But I appreciate their efforts that they are putting in. They are still making the outreach in the hope that they can win the hearts. They have ensured that the Muslim women are given the freedom out of the clutches of certain very, very Stone Age level laws. That protections have been given, and they believe that possibly the Muslim women will take the leadership of joining hands and voting for the BJP. At some point, this agenda of the opposition would be cut short, and BJP might be able to make inroads and have electable members of parliament who belong to Muslim community also.
All right, well, let's just hope that happens. There's 6 minutes left, 6 seconds left. This is really good. Maybe Shehzad would have wanted that, but we're going to let it go. I appreciate all four of you for joining us. Thank you there. Sadly, Raju, the ideological needle is stuck right now, and that is the reason why we are having this conversation. That's the times that we live in right now. But let's hope, it shifts sooner than later.
JCB at work in Nagpur. The machine sent by the City Municipal Corporation reached the house of Fahim Khan, the main accused in the last week riots case, Monday morning. The demolition of allegedly illegal construction was carried out under tight security. Officials, however, appeared to be evasive when asked who issued the notice and when.
हमको पुलिस विभाग से पत्र प्राप्त हुआ था और वरिष्ठों के आदेश भी थे। कुछ अनुसंग से कार्रवाई हो रही है, तो ये हमने 24 घंटे का नोटिस दिया था MRTP, उस हिसाब से आज कार्रवाई चल।
जो NMC के अधिकारी उन्होंने कहा है कि पुलिस की ओर से निर्देश मिला था कि घर डिमोलिश किया जाए क्योंकि अवैध है, तो क्या पुलिस ने ही डिमोलिश करने के लिए कहा था?
नहीं, पुलिस का ये काम नहीं है और पुलिस ऐसे निर्देश कभी देती नहीं है। ये अतिक्रमण हटाना जो है वो महानगर पालिका की जिम्मेवारी है।
Fahim Khan's mother had moved a petition before the Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court against bulldozer action. The demolition was over by the time the court took up the matter at 2:30 p.m.
कोर्ट ने फटकार लगाते हुए प्रतिवादी को ये कहा है कि ये याचिकाकर्ता भारत के नागरिक है कि नहीं, और वैसे ही सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो जजमेंट है उसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो डायरेक्शन दिया है कि आरोपी अगर होता भी है तो भी उसको 15 दिन का समय, उसका कंस्ट्रक्शन लीगल है कि नहीं वो बताने के लिए समय दिया जाना चाहिए।
The crackdown comes after Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis warned of strict measures, including bulldozer action, against those responsible for the Nagpur riots over Aurangzeb.
जहां बुलडोजर चलाने की आवश्यकता होगी वहां चलेगा, जहां गलत काम होगा उसको रौंदा जाएगा, किसी को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
फिर आप गृह मंत्री हो ना, डबल इंजन चल रही है ना सरकार, पूरा देश आपके हाथ में, महाराष्ट्र आपके हाथ में, इसके बावजूद नागपुर में दंगा कैसे होता है?
The High Court has directed the Principal Secretary of Maharashtra and the Nagpur Municipal Commissioner to respond by April 15th, the next day of hearing on plea filed by Fahim Khan's mother. With Rhetoric Bhalekar and Yogesh Pandey in Nagpur, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, so the big questions that we're asking this evening, the Supreme Court's no-bulldozer guideline completely flouted by Maharashtra government, practically inventing their own rule book, ignoring what the Supreme Court has said. Well, it's not just the Maharashtra government, though, viewers. It's happened in the state of Punjab as well. Secondly, bulldozer bid reflects Devendra Fadnavis in competitive Hindutva race. We've seen a sudden shift in the politics of Maharashtra. Many suggests that could very well be that Devendra Fadnavis wants to throw in his hat as a possible formidable Hindutva figure. Will bulldozer justice add to the Chief Minister's strong image? Many had also suggested that Devendra Fadnavis, where law and order was concerned, many were alleging that he was weak. Is this a move to appear stronger? Will bulldozer action add to BJP's anti-Muslim rhetoric? Taking all these questions to our two panelists, 2 minutes each, beginning with Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party, Atul Londe Patil, Spokesperson, Congress. Sanju Verma, the fact is it does seem that the Maharashtra government has formulated their own rule book, completely overriding what the Supreme Court had said, in turn overriding the Constitution. 2 minutes, ma'am.
Preeti, let your audience know this, that the Supreme Court verdict, which is being bandied about by everybody from the opposition, जो खुद संविधान की धज्जियां उड़ाते हैं, I'm talking of the likes of Uddhav Thackeray, Rahul Gandhi and Sharad Pawar, आज वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी को संविधान related certificates बांट रहे हैं. Let me tell you, the Supreme Court, while giving that famous bulldozer verdict, which is being quoted by everybody ad nauseum, said that there are instances when suo motu action can be taken by the executive and the judiciary does not want to encroach upon the functions of the executive or the legislature. And Article 245 right up till Article 254, you can ask your research team to do the homework. All these 10 articles clearly say that there's a clear delineation of powers, and suo motu powers can be exercised by the sitting chief minister, who in this case also happens to be the home minister. And my second point, Preeti, is this, that this bulldozer action, I dare say, should have been taken way back in 2020 because the building's lease expired. The building belonging to the chief perpetrator of Nagpur riots, Fahim Khan, it expired in August 2020. November 2019 से लेकर June 29, 2022 तक for 2.5 years, Uddhav Thackeray was the chief minister. I say, thank God we have Fadnavis today, and necessary action, which was 2.5 years overdue, was finally brought to fruition because the building lease had expired, unauthorized construction took place, flouting Nagpur Municipal Corporation's rule book, and also the rule book pertaining to the Maharashtra Regional Town Planning Act. तो यदि किसी ने संविधान की धज्जियां उड़ाई हैं, नागपुर म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन की रूल बुक की धज्जियां उड़ाई हैं, it is the erstwhile Uddhav Thackeray dispensation which caved into radical Islamists like Fahim Khan. Devendra Fadnavis has only set
your time's up, ma'am. Your time's up. Sanju Verma, I want to bring in the Congress spokesperson, but I'll come back to you, circle back to you on this one question. One would have believed if you said that this was long overdue, the building was illegal, and the NMC decided to tear it down. But the fact is, ma'am, you just saw the build-up package. The NMC said, we didn't decide. The police told us. We went to the police. The police said, we never decided. NMC decided. So who has decided? And how do we know it's illegal? Number one. Number two, I want to bring in Atul Londe. Atul Londe, you spokesperson of the BJP, says that this was an illegal construction. It should have happened earlier. It just happened now. It's just timing is only, a coincidence.
Preeti, I know as many as 1,000 illegal construction, illegal buildings, and out of which many of are related with the BJP people in the heart, right at the heart of Nagpur. The land of agriculture university in the heart of Nagpur has been occupied illegally by so many people. I won't name them because they have also legal rights, constitutional rights to approach the court, to approach the municipal corporation. One observation of Supreme Court, which I want to quote here, because all other issues, those have been already discussed in earlier debate also. I will just taste for divine violation. The SC laid down a separate test for cases where a demolished property houses an accused, but also violates municipal laws and illegal construction. The SC stated that if only one structure is demolished, while similar ones are untouched, it may suggest the motive is to penalize the accused, not to remove an illegal construction. The same thing is happening over here. Why bulldozer actions are being taken against only a particular community and not against those who are involved in violence also? The question here is, you are suppressing, you are terrorizing one community only because you have a power. It's right. Devendra Fadnavis is Chief Minister of Maharashtra. He is also holding the portfolio of Home Minister. But that does not give him a power of judiciary. That does not give him a power to justify the things. That does not give him to deliver a justice as a Home Minister. It is a duty of the judiciary. And what High Court bench of Nagpur, the Bombay High Court bench of Nagpur said, it is aren't these people are citizen of India? क्या ये देश के नागरिक नहीं है? न्याय करना है, समानता से करो. जस्टिस किसको कहोगे? जो रूल बुक के तरफ ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ के तहत होगा, एस्टैब्लिश प्रोसीजर ऑफ लॉ के तहत होगा. आपको लगा मेरे मन को भाया, मैंने कुत्ता काट के खाया.
Okay.
This is the procedure.
I want to give it this. Okay, I don't have the time. One minute each. Sanju Verma, I want to bring you back into this conversation. The reason that the building was illegal that you've given is an afterthought. The NMC didn't know. NMC said police ne bola, humne aake tod diya.
You know, Preeti, I always say look at the bigger picture. Do not miss the woods for the trees. You know, police commissioner ने क्या कहा, नागपुर म्युनिसिपल कमिश्नर ने क्या कहा. मैं डंके की चोट पर आपको नेशनल स्पोक्सपर्सन ऑफ द बीजेपी के तहत कह रही हूं that the final call is taken by the chief minister, who also happens to be the home minister, Devendra Fadnavis. And lest I'm misquoted, I'm reading out what he said. Whatever damage has happened will be recovered from the rioters. If they do not pay the money, their property would be seized and sold for recovery. Wherever required, bulldozers will roll out, but within the ambit of BNSS. BNSS Section 353(1), BNSS Section 355(2)(b), and BNSS Section 356(13). अतुल लोंडे साहब से मेरी गुजारिश है, BNSS पढ़ के आइए. Don't start quoting the old provisions of IPC, which is no longer operational. IPC is outdated. It stopped being operational since July 2024. You are still in July 2024. Today it is March 2025. Okay. And Preeti, my last point is this, because my 1 minute is not over. My last
your 1 minute is over quickly.
जो लोग आज फहीम खान के इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन पर बुलडोजर चलाए जाने पर हाहाकार मचा रहे हैं, वो 9 सितंबर 2020 जब कंगना रनौत के बंगले पर बुलडोजर चला तब तालियां बजा रहे थे. शर्म आती है नहीं?
Okay, now, okay, Mr. Londe, please respond, sir. I don't have time. Quickly come in. Respond.
See, traitors are traitors, dangais are dangais. We don't differentiate on the basis of caste, religion, or any other parameter. What this law is saying, what Supreme Court is saying, if action is illegally taken by officers, officers will be punished. They will be financially penalized. This is what Bombay bench of Nagpur High Court says day before yesterday. The notice was served on 22nd of March and the action was taken on the 23rd of March. When they came to know that the Fahim's family has moved to the court, they have doubled the personnel and raised his whole building before 2 o'clock, before they got notice from the High Court. This is not the way. Constitution will govern this country. I was not talking about IPC. Sanjuji has not listened to me properly. I am only talking about the Article 142 of the Constitution, according to which Supreme Court has given a guideline.
All right. On that account, we are going to... Okay, I've terribly run out of time. You know, we should have actually had more time so we could have sunk our teeth into why is this happening, especially politically. Is there a reimagination of the image of Devendra Fadnavis? But we'll do it in the upcoming